We've been stopped 2 times on our way to Switzerland, and then we're headed into some crazy load-ins and load-outs for 3 Spanish shows in the summer. My name is Ziggy. I'm a coastal folk singer-songwriter from the east coast of Australia, and I'm currently on a world tour. It's the 5th of August. I'm really psyched. This is our kind of second installment. We are really trying to show you behind the scenes of my life a bit more. I feel really passionate about kind of doing this project because for a couple of years we've been doing lots of short form stuff. I'm sure everybody is aware of this, the whole attention deficit thing that's going on, and I just really want to push forward to some more kind of quality long form stuff and also tell you a bit more about how I feel on everything that's going on, opposed to just documenting my life. I want to tell you things from my perspective. So if you want to help make that possible, you can like, comment and subscribe. Also, if there is something that you would find interesting to see from behind the scenes of my life, whether that's on or off tour, comment some questions below or give us some suggestions. That'd be amazing. And so I wake up at roughly let's say 6 a.m. I've gone to bed at like 2 or 3 and I can feel that we're stopped, and it turns out we've had a whole truck check on the middle of a highway in nowhere, which is crazy. And then we get to the German-Swiss border for our Switzerland show, and half an hour turns into an hour, turns into an hour and a half, turns into, I think, 4 hours late for our show, which for me, these days is less of an impact. As you can see from footage from shows, but maybe you don't know, I used to do all the driving and load-ins with all the crew. My lovely tour manager does not let me anymore, and that's a really appropriate thing. It's ridiculous because I get a finger underneath some cases the wrong way and we have to cancel the whole tour. You know, it's a ridiculously, I actually try not to think about it very much because it's quite a daunting idea about how ridiculously sensitive it is, the whole framework. Despite our 4 or 5 hours late, the crew got load-in done. There's so many little things we're doing through the shows which I don't want to give away. You might just need to come to a show, but for those of you who have been attending this tour, you'll notice some shenanigans we've got going on, and the team have done an amazing job at facilitating all of that. The Swiss show was amazing in Zurich. We haven't played extra before. I usually play a venue called Kaffluten, and I played that a couple of times, but this time we played this new venue. It was packed and amazing. Speaking of Switzerland, we have a slight change of artists on the bill. Mr. Pat Bergener joined us for a couple shows for our Spanish shows, Barcelona, Madrid.
Nice, bro. So maybe
Pat's a crazy dude. He's like a several-time Olympian snowboarder, an absolute character, and an aspiring musician who is absolutely shredding. I met him through Kim Churchill recently, and he was kind enough to come jump on this run of shows with us through Spain, which was super funny, and we performed Letting Go together. After our little border kerfuffles or crazy hold-up, we went from a beautiful day of swimming, Zurich, the river. It's really interesting to me that they've got a river in the middle of the city that's clean enough to swim, and you can drink all the water from taps, and that's no doubt an economic thing as far as they have an incredibly affluent country, but I'm also interested in why that's been made possible, because I'd love to see that replicated in other parts of the world, and I'm sure you as well. We then go to Spain, and it was hilarious because we're in Barcelona, I think, for 2 days. The tour bus is parked in like an industrial mechanics shop, but it was perfect because it's a couple blocks from the beach. And just having time in the water, you know, in Barcelona for a couple of days, in a place called Vigo, which I'd never visited before. It's such a great equalizer, like a couple hours in the ocean just changes everything. And it genuinely felt like a mini holiday to just have the start of this, our mornings revolve around being in the sun and the water and cruising these beautiful old parts of town. Yeah, that was really amazing. This full height of summer, some of the hottest shows we've done. Lucky I'm Australian and a lot of our crew is Australian because we know how to deal with that level of heat. We finished up our Spain shows in this really beautiful town called Vigo, and we're playing on this rooftop, and it was a pretty intimate show. It was like a couple hundred people around sunset. And it was a really good reminder. I take the approach that no matter what size of the show, like it's always important, and that's always served me well, that kind of perspective. It was like a scene out of a movie. Something really special about this run of shows on the New Love World Tour has been this big presence of family, and that's been like a growing element in my shows, but it's been a really special element to share these crazy multi-generational moments with families in the crowd, and it's incredible. Like, there's nothing like seeing people there with their friends and seeing people there with their partners and seeing people who are there alone and making friends, which I hear lots of stories about that. But to see that multi-generational crowd and seeing your involvement in people's life in the family unit is like really touching and special. It's really, I feel it's a very precious thing, and I feel very stoked that I get to share these moments. It's like a special part of perhaps someone's first ever show, like a fundamental memory, and I feel that's like both terrifying because I want to do the best job that I can, and so rewarding when you feel like families are facilitated at shows. That's an incredible thing. Those sort of moments are more and more rare the bigger the show is, and I kind of got to go out the front and meet everybody, which I also used to do a lot of, but in order to protect your voice and the longevity of your tour, you have to pick your moments when you socialize a lot. And it's always an amazing time when I get to go out and be with the people and break down that barrier between me and the crowd, which is something that I enjoyed a lot about street music and enjoy a lot about intimate shows. And you want to carry that ethos into the bigger your shows get. You still got to find a way to break through and be close to the people. So that's, I think, all I have to say about this little Swiss and Spanish run. Right now, we're going to be headed into the UK for the next run. We've got a crazy amount of regional kind of dates all across the UK and Scotland and Ireland later this month. So if you want to come follow the next part of the journey, stay tuned. And thank you for tuning in. I'll see you soon.